Hello, everyone. My name is Maxime, and I just wanted to share this video to speak into the topic of feminine fullness and the juiciness of our wombs and our womb codes. And just taking a breath here to take that in and to ground the energy. This energy to me always feels so nourishing and so deep. It feels like when you're a child and your mother holds you in your arms after you have injured yourself, or a warm soup at the end of the day, a cold day at your grandmother's house. So this expansive energy, which is not just this inner integration, but it's also an outer alignment and realignment when we look into the world of polarities. So, in my own journey as a red tent facilitator and a women's empowerment coach, and someone who loves working with women and guiding women back into their body, and really just as a steward, just as a guide, because women, we are already empowered in this, but just to leave a seed and a gentle nudging, and to hold a woman's hand to guide her back into her body, into her feminine wisdom and her feminine gnosis. So that's the privilege of the work I do, where I get to watch these journeys of these incredible women who time and time again attend the red tent, whether it be in the physical space or virtually in the womb portal, to reconnect with their body and to connect in a way that feels consistent, feels healthy and nourishing to them. So we do not forget that we are indeed an emanation of the goddess, of the female Shakti principle walking on this earth. And this is so interesting looking at the world right now. And this is, of course, always a perspective. And my perspective might not be your perspective. And there are a plethora of perspectives and timelines we can subscribe to and look through the lensing, which is so important to stay in that position of the observer, to see through other people's eyes and maybe what might be true in their world. So some might say we are living in chaos. Some might say we're living in the most beautiful times we've ever had. And in a way, both are true and can absolutely be true. And I believe it is my mission, part of my spiritual path, where God is guiding me. Goddess is guiding me to embody the feminine principle, so much so that it can attract the masculine principle, or inspire, I should say, the masculine principle to lead and to provide in their rightful biological roles, so that we restore this union on earth, that we restore this union of polarity on earth. And that might sound like an edge, and that might sound like a trigger. However, from my perspective, I have learned and I have seen how good it feels to be that feminine woman, and not just present myself as, but live as her, as this connects me to all women, really, to the sisterhood and to the very first women that lived. And I always call her Ava in my red tents, just out of reverence and respect, and out of love. So what I mean by those polarities whether it's masculine or feminine, we come into this third aspect of union, which I believe is the Christ consciousness, where we come together in this sacred hieros gamos union to birth the third principle, the sacred third. And in that union, in a very primal aspect, that can be a child. In that union, in a very high conscious awareness, can be a new earth of frequency of love, light, and joy. And subscribing to this higher frequency. So what we do in the womb portal as women, which is what I offer every last Sunday of the month, virtually, to connect for an hour in deep meditation and in a virtual safe space from your own home, but with a group of women, to just anchor those codes into the womb, that we're just the living stewards of this earth, and how beautiful it is to be a woman and to be embodied with our feminine Christed body here on planet Earth. And that's what I've come here just to share today. And my own feminine embodiment journey has been exactly that. It's been a journey, but it's been a road back to self. And it started also with not just the adoration of what I know in our world a lot as the goddess. And of course, that is my work. The study of her and research of her as the creator of this planet or conscious or unity, united world, but starting to look at the masculine principle as God and the what if, exploring that edge of what if God was a man, what if that masculine principle, and we weave that in, and that of course comes with so many triggers and activates traumas, especially in our priestess community. So that can be very interesting too, if you can hold that polarity. And even if you have to go deep and you reject it and you fight it and you feel all the feels, that is feminine fullness. That is the feminine embodiment, whether she's loving and nurturing or screaming or shouting in anger and her grief. That is feminine fullness. So the what if, exploring the what if in polarity work and in the embodiment journey of being this holy avatar of light. What is our mission here on Earth? What if God was a man? What if, or what is all this trauma that we have calling God a man and the he? And that is our own fractures internally, I believe, where we have forgotten to honor the masculine principle, whether that is within ourselves or in the outside world. And of course, there has been a lot of trauma, but also a lot of distortion, just as with the feminine principle. So we're so privileged nowadays to be in this space to bring these two together in reverence and in respect for both those parts, to unite the fractures. So we are not blaming each other or judging each other. And we're bringing it deeper into ourselves, especially as women, to bring it deeper into ourselves, to observe, to feel, to allow ourselves to be a woman, and what it means to be in devotion to a masculine principle. And that is what I wanted to share here today, and to see how this lands for you and how you feel with that, because if you're someone like me, we deeply yearn and crave for the knighthood, right? The anointment of men. We want our men to be kings. We want them to just finally get it. And why aren't they there yet? So we have this limiting belief that they are not there yet and that they are not good enough. And that is often a projection. We do not have to heal or help anyone, but in the feminine embodiment, she inspires and she is the catalyst to his awakening more often than not. But we can only get there when we honor and we respect him and we offer our love in service to the divine masculine. And this is what a lot of us have come here to do, to restore through our own trauma, through our own path, through our own teachings, to restore this union. And the image that comes to me is just the knights at the round table and Guinevere and the Red Lady and Avalon and Excalibur. This is the imagery I get. And then what comes to my mind also are the Cathars, the secular group that had this knowledge of equality in a way, but respecting our differences as the sexes. Comes to mind is not just ancient Egypt, but ancient Babylon, and way before that, we go into prehistory. And the first shamans were said to be women, of course, because we have this portal within our wombs where we can nurture and hold spirits. And we are that channel. And that's just my encouragement for women to feel all of their womanness. And if you don't know, a few years ago, I wrote a ebook on girlhood, which was my journey into womanhood. And it looked a lot at these traumas of over-sexualization and self-discovery, self-identity, and all these fractures that we can experience either through abuse and trauma, or even how we could enter this planet with this intention to clear karma for our and the next generation. So that is what I wanted to share. And please do leave a comment on your reflections. Thank you for your respect and your ears and your presence for listening. And I'd be curious to hear your journey. Was there perhaps a belief you prescribed to, and after self-discovery and after your spiritual journey, you realized that's not you? Or maybe it is you and there's more to unravel. We are peeling the metaphorical onion. So this is curious. It's a curious part, how to hold both of those polarities and honoring the masculine and the feminine principle equally in reverence and respect. So I leave you with that and wishing you all a fabulous day wherever you are. Hava and Sadhana.